Before Egypt raised its pyramids, before Mesopotamia etched its first laws into clay, there were others. Civilizations magnificent, complex, and alive, thriving in lands we barely remember. And yet, they vanished. Their cities buried, their languages silenced, their gods forgotten. But the earth remembers. Because beneath the deserts, jungles, and oceans lie traces of worlds that once beat with human ambition and then suddenly stopped. Today we're going to uncover 5 lost civilizations that defy logic, that prove history is not a straight line, but a cycle of brilliance and disappearance. Civilization, what does it mean? Cities, writing, trade, monuments. But long before our modern nations, entire cultures achieved those feats, then collapsed into silence. Archaeologists have spent centuries trying to piece together the puzzle of lost civilizations. Some vanished because of climate change, others through war or isolation. And some, they seem to have buried themselves on purpose. Let's begin where history itself may have begun. Not in Egypt, not in Mesopotamia, but in the mysterious hills of modern-day Turkey. Göbekli Tepe, the world's first temple discovered in the 1990s. Göbekli Tepe is over 11,000 years old, built before pottery, writing, or agriculture. Massive stone pillars carved with animals and symbols, each weighing up to 20 tons, rise from the Anatolian plains. But here's the enigma. It wasn't a settlement. It was a temple.
Hunter-gatherers, not farmers, built it, rewriting everything we thought we knew about human civilization, even stranger.
Around 8000 BCE, the people who built it buried it, deliberately covering their masterpiece under tons of earth.
Why? No one knows.
Perhaps to preserve it for future generations, or to close a chapter of humanity we can no longer understand. Recent excavations suggest Göbekli Tepe was part of a larger ritual network, connected to other nearby sites now lost beneath soil. The world's first temple, the first mystery of civilization itself, Nabta Playa, the astronomers of the Sahara. Deep in Egypt's western desert lies Nabta Playa, dried ancient lakebed, older than Stonehenge. Here, over 7,000 years ago, nomads erected stone circles aligned perfectly with the summer solstice. This was not random. They mapped the stars, the earliest known evidence of astronomical observation in Africa. Cattle herders, guided by the heavens, used this site to track the monsoon rains vital to survival. And then, the climate changed. The rain stopped, the grasslands turned to desert, and by 4800 BCE, Nabta Playa was abandoned. But their knowledge lived on. Some scholars believe these early skywatchers migrated east, carrying their astronomical wisdom into Nile Valley culture, helping shape the rise of Egypt itself. Indus Valley civilization, the forgotten giants now. Journey east to the plains of modern Pakistan and northwest India, where 4,000 years ago the Indus Valley civilization flourished. Cities like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were marvels of urban planning. Grid-like streets, advanced drainage, and standardized weights and measures. They traded as far as Mesopotamia, yet left behind no deciphered writing. In 1900 BCE, something went wrong. Rivers shifted, possibly after massive tectonic changes. Trade routes broke, drought followed. By 1300 BCE, their great cities were empty. No signs of mass warfare, no palaces, no conquerors, just silence. And their language, still uncracked, remains one of history's great unsolved codes. Recent isotope analysis from burial sites shows patterns of internal migration, as populations moved eastward to survive changing climates. Quiet end to a once thriving world. Sanxingdui, China's Bronze Age mystery. In 1986, farmers digging near Guanghan, China, uncovered a trove of strange, otherworldly artifacts. Giant bronze masks with bulging eyes, gold scepters, jade blades. Archaeologists had never seen anything like it. This was Sanxingdui, a Bronze Age civilization that thrived around 1200 BCE, then vanished. Their art looked nothing like early Chinese dynasties. No written records mention them. And yet, they forged bronze with breathtaking skill, evidence of an advanced, independent culture that somehow disappeared, likely after an earthquake diverted their river in forced abandonment. Recent excavations in 2021 uncovered more than 500 new artifacts, proving Sanxingdui wasn't isolated, was part of a vast, interconnected network across ancient China. but who they were, still a mystery. The Olmecs, the first Americans across the ocean, in the jungles of Mexico. Lived the Olmecs, the mother culture of Mesoamerica. From around 1500 BCE, they built colossal heads from volcanic basaltite weighing up to 40 tons. They invented writing, calendars, and possibly the concept of the sacred ballgame centuries before the Maya or Aztecs. Yet by 400 BCE, their city's San Lorenzo Levanta fell silent. Archaeologists now believe environmental collapse and shifting rivers doomed them. But their legacy endured, echoing through every later civilization in Mesoamerica. The Olmecs vanished, but their gods and ideas lived on for 1,000 years. Göbekli Tepe, Nabta Playa, the Indus, Sanxingdui, the Olmecs. 5 worlds that rose, flourished, and fell. Different continents, different peoples, same pattern. Each was undone not by ignorance, but by change. Shifts in climate, rivers, and trade forces beyond their control. And today, as we face our own fragile moment in history, perhaps their stories aren't warnings of the past, but mirrors of our future. Civilizations don't die overnight. They fade, grain by grain, memory by memory, until all that's left are whispers buried beneath the sand. But every discovery reminds us what was lost can be found again, and maybe so can we.